The following program is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Fresno on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Craig Barton.
Good morning, Central California. I'm your host, Craig Barton, and welcome to the Real Estate Radio Network, the most important hour of radio each week here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Real Estate Radio is a show dedicated to bringing some rational thought, 007, yes you are, to the crazy world that we live in and helping you to rebuild the Central Valley's housing and credit markets. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted advice, and that's exactly what you are going to hear every Sunday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. right here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Once again, it's Sunday morning, Johnny, and she comes into the studio mocking me. What's up with that?
I love you, man.
Oh, you're right.
My little Libra friend.
Yeah, my little Capricorn slapping the back of the head.
Hey. We Cappies, we don't hold back.
Yeah.
It's just
I'm
direct.
married to one. I know.
I like her, you know. You think it's you. You think you're the reason I'm on the show. But really?
Really?
It's Tiff.
It's Tiff.
Yeah, she's cool.
All righty.
I'm just teasing.
I'll let her know. Well, just so you know,
just teasing.
You and Tiff are going to be taking me to lunch because I still haven't collected on that bet.
I know.
Yeah?
I know.
Good deal. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, so great to have my, there she goes, editing the copy again. I love that.
It's a little wordy today.
Yeah, it's a little wordy. This little Michelle Lynn Pettis here in the studio with us. She is a realtor and a copy editor for Simon & Schuster.
No, but I am for the Real Estate Radio Network.
You are.
If it gets too wordy, I got to cut you down.
I know.
Right.
I know. Trust me. We're also very fortunate to have Dale Devereaux here in the studio with us.
Sounds so French, Devereaux. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got rid of Babineau, and now we have Devereaux.
I know.
Right?
What's with all these no-nos? Just kidding. Good morning,
no-nos.
Dale.
Dale,
Happy to see you.
Dale is the owner and chief bottle washer for Perfect Inspections.
Yeah.
I am.
Thanks for joining us, Dale.
Properties.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and then we also have Sue Davila. And the word for the day today, Sue, is...
Good morning.
Is home warranty.
Yes.
Get
a home warranty.
Fidelity Home Warranty here in the studio with us. So we're going to talk about somewhat of the symbiotic relationship between why it's important to get a home inspection and also why it's also important to insure the largest purchase of your life with a home warranty.
Amen.
Yep. Thanks so much for being here.
I felt like that was a prayer almost.
What's that?
I felt like that was a prayer. I had to say amen. I concurred.
I am an ordained minister, so
watch out.
Thank you, Jesus, right?
Right.
Sunday morning. Well, the Real Estate Radio Network gives us the opportunity to reach so many people efficiently for one full hour each and every week. Our goal with the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market so we can help bring you
back home.
On today's show, what are the top 5 reasons that Californians have said they purchased a home in 2013? Any guesses?
I have a few guesses.
Oh, do you?
But I'm not going to tell you yet.
Oh, there you go. You're going to hold out. All right.
I am.
And if you were a buyer or if you were a seller, what would happen if you saw a 40+% increase in your inventory?
Well, I'm hoping to be a seller in that market.
You are? I'm hoping to be a buyer. You know, President Obama proposes fundamental overhaul of the U.S. mortgage system. How would that affect how mortgages are made?
Does it have to do with his carnival rodeo show? No. Okay.
And FHA, the Federal Housing Administration, cuts mortgage wait times after hard times.
Mortgage wait times? Yeah, that I need an explanation for.
Yeah. And again, as we mentioned, we also have Dale Devereaux with Perfect Inspections to tell our listeners why it is so important to get a home inspection, and Sue Davila with Fidelity Home Warranty to talk about the peace of mind that you can purchase with a home warranty. Make sure you stay with us. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that Michelle, myself, Dale, Sue, even Johnny behind the mic shares with you this Sunday morning, it all starts with one call. Let's call from you. About this time last week, you had somebody calling your phone.
I know. I muted it.
It was
today.
timely. Yes, it was.
It was timely.
Give us a call anytime. 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. You can also take us with you wherever you go.
If you dare.
If you dare, yes.
I think they want to.
You need a big car. You can listen to us on your smartphone on the iPeak Tuner app, and you can also download that app at your app store or listen to us online at kmjnow.com. You can also check out our resources. Go to our website, search for your new home by going to valleywidesells.com. To friend us on Facebook, press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valleywide.
That's wrong, Michelle. That's friend Valleywide on Facebook. Or you just press 4 keywords.
I'm sorry.
KMJ, call Valleywide, as Michelle just said, and we'll get you connected to the show.
Now who's mocking who today?
Hey, that perfect opportunity to drop kick you across the room.
Nice.
There you go. Well, today's hot property is brought to you by Perfect Inspections. Whether it's residential, multifamily, or commercial, press 4 keywords, Perfect Home Inspections, or call Dale Devereaux today for your perfect home inspection at 352-6941. Again, that's 352-6941. Well, today's hot property is a HUD home located at 855 Petite Sirah Lane. This for some reason, when we got assigned this property, it makes me very thirsty.
It's a wine property. Doesn't it feel like a wine? Petite Sirah.
Petite Sirah. It feels more,
more like wine every day.
Exactly. It's 5-bedroom, 3-bath, and it's kind of funny. It's 3,020 square feet. But on the when it first came out this week, little side story. It showed total rooms was 316 rooms.
No
and
way.
Square foot of the property was 8. So
nice.
they were lots of really small,
pin-sized rooms.
Smaller than that.
Wow.
If it's 8 square feet.
That's in Kalinga. That is a lot of square footage.
It is. This is a new home built in 2008. It was appraised with an FHA appraisal for $232,500, and it is considered insured, which, again, as we mentioned, a HUD home is a property that used to have FHA financing on it. Unfortunately, the folks lost it. The bank took it back, filed an insurance claim with HUD, and now HUD is marketing the property as a HUD home, giving priority to owner occupants during the first 30 days. Appraised at $232,500, so it will save you the cost of an FHA appraisal if you're using FHA financing.
And what's the square footage?
3,200 square feet.
Holy moly. If you're a corrections officer out in the Kalinga area, this might be a property for you.
Yeah, bidding deadline is August 29th, Thursday, August 29th.
That's a lot of square footage.
2013. So 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you have more questions or you'd like more information about today's hot property, give us a call anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Or press 4 keywords.
KMJ, hot property.
Very good, Michelle.
I'm sorry.
And we'll send you more information about this hot property right to your phone. Look for more hot properties each week right here on the Real Estate Radio Network.
I'm trying to keep up.
Yeah, you
I didn't have enough coffee this morning.
You didn't?
No.
No, nothing ever works out really well for me if I don't, that's for sure. Well, let's take a look at some of the top stories in the news. Fresno County active inventory continues to increase. 1,456 active properties. You going to ring the bell for us?
Woohoo!
Yeah,
I love to say woohoo. More property, love it.
90
Exciting.
active short sales, or 6.18%. 94 active real estate owned, or foreclosures, at 6.45%. And 1,272 traditional listings.
Yeah, how are we going to describe that? We had this conversation earlier.
Exactly.
They're not really traditional sales. They're traditional/investor sales.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Just don't want anybody to think Mrs. Jones is getting her house on the market, going to move it really quick.
Right.
Yeah, it might be Jones Investment LLC or something that's putting the house on the market,
Very
but
true.
they are traditional sales.
Very true. Extremely important to note, listings within Fresno County continue to increase month over month. And granted, we're almost 8 weeks post Chairman Bernicke's comments about the government stopping their $84 billion government bond buying activities, which therein lies some of, I think, the potential impetus for why we have. Again, it's difficult to correlate or determine for sure if this is the reason why we've got this inventory on the market.
But we'll take it.
Exactly.
We're happy to have it.
That's why I asked the question, if you're a buyer or if you're a seller in today's market. And that's Fresno County right at the moment.
I read it wrong. I'm concurring with you.
Oh, okay. What would you expect the market to look like, and what would you rather be? Would you rather be a buyer, or would you rather be a seller? We're going to get to that in just a little bit.
God, he's shutting me up again.
No,
all right.
not so much.
I'm going to hold.
Well, top 5 reasons for buying a home. Now, why did most Californians purchase their home in 2013? Now, this goes to show you right here what the mindset of everybody likes a bargain, don't they, Michelle?
It's on sale, Greg.
Well, of course. 38% of all California home purchases, buyers bought because there was a price reduction.
Okay, that is not the best reason to buy.
No, it isn't the best reason to buy.
Just
I'm going to get a deal, so as opposed to putting preference or substance over...
Who cares what the
buy
rooms
it
look
because
like?
It's a deal.
Yeah.
Or there's been a price reduction. I really think that's kind of scary. I want to buy a property because...
Again, though, we are of the demographic of agents that go and buy and sell homes.
Based upon emotion.
That's how our job has always been.
Roll.
So that other perception is not necessarily how we perceive it.
There you go. 12% of Californians purchased in 2013 because of favorable prices and or financing. I don't know, favorable prices.
To me, that's all one and the same. Price reduction, the payment was good because the financing was good. Okay, keep going.
And when it says interest rates, let's face it, interest rates at 4.5%, whether it's conventional or FHA or somewhere in that ballpark, are still great rates. Mm-hmm. Okay. Number 3, 10% of Californians desired a new or better location. Now we're talking substance. Now it's not just price.
Well, to you and I, it's substance.
Okay.
That's unfortunate that only 10% of the buyers out there are actually in my demographic.
In your demographic. 9% of Californians purchased in 2013 because investment or tax advantages. This is the practical portion of our
that's those are the practical investors.
Yeah.
Practical.
Yeah. And 7% tired of renting. I sure would like to see that number a whole lot bigger.
Yeah, see, 17% of those are pretty, This 38% over here on the left, price reductions.
What a bargain.
That's all perception.
Yeah, exactly.
Some great marketing went on there.
Yeah, shortly, before we know it, President Obama proposes the fundamental overhaul of the U.S. mortgage system. Bottom line, let's talk about this real quick. Eventually, Capitol Hill wants to phase out Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So they're both under conservatorship. I don't know that they were, quote-unquote, the single-handed reason why the U.S. housing market was brought to its knees. But I can also see the reasoning. I don't think that the Federal Housing Administration needs to be the number one source for financing in Fresno County, which it has been for quite some time. Roughly 35% of all properties that are acquired in Fresno County are acquired utilizing FHA financing as a vehicle. Number 2, cash. Number 3, conventional and all other types of financing. So what they're trying to do, for all intents and purposes, is force Wall Street to play an even bigger role in terms of providing financing. Now, Michelle, this is the time where you jump in and jump on your soapbox and say, isn't that what got us here in the first place?
Well, we all know that's what got us here. My concern, of course, is that it's time to overhaul the mortgage system. That's what he's proclaiming. Mm-hmm. Didn't they do that a couple of years ago? I mean, didn't they already try that? Wasn't that what happened at the bubble burst? We all, let's revamp.
Aren't we the result of the system being overhauled already?
Yes,
so
now.
We're here already.
We're here already. So why are we going there again?
Capitol Hill is just wanting to ensure that the taxpayer doesn't take as large a hit or potential loss as the taxpayer has in the past. And I don't know if that's necessarily...
The taxpayer... Is that really who they're concerned about?
I don't know. I don't believe so.
I don't think so. I don't think that's who they're worried about, honestly.
Yeah, I don't believe so. I'm just being honest. I really am.
I hear it, but I don't think that's who they're worried about. I think they're worried about who's making money off of all of this, and how can they eliminate risk for certain chunks of the market.
For certain friends.
I didn't say that. Although he did get a new dog this week.
Certain friends of a certain party.
I'm concerned if he's calling him Fanny or Freddie.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know, Craig. I mean, honestly, I'm not going to get in my soapbox this morning. I'm just didn't have enough coffee.
Soapy?
Well, I just find it to be asinine, excuse the term, for anyone to think that we need to revamp when we just revamped.
Right.
And we just sued everybody. I mean, what else are you going to do here, people? Can we just do cause and effect for a little while? It got out of balance, off kilter. Too many people were making too much money, and all of a sudden, it's trying to correct, and now we're trying to manipulate the correction.
So, do you feel like the manipulation of the correction is just a tidbit of grandstanding?
Well, I think it's just he's out there preaching to the. I mean, he's out there saying what he wants to say, hoping people will calm down, and honestly, it's a mess. It just needs let it take its course. Everybody is doing their thing.
Right.
Now, if it creates another bubble, what's going to happen?
We're going to fix it again.
Who's going to fix it? Who's going to be fixed? All the agents and mortgage lenders?
Well, I think
because I'm kind of thinking we aren't the only problem here.
Well, the small mom and pop mortgage broker.
We're not. We're not the problem.
Well, this time, I don't think we can be the problem.
But that's what he's implying again, though, is that the mortgage industry needs to be overhauled.
Well, so let's just say this: some of the overhaul that we've seen thus far in terms of greater restrictions and guidance, some of it is slightly just over the top and a little crazy. The new good faith, as an example, that's been in effect for 3-4 years, doesn't need to be signed by the consumer. Wouldn't you think that in and of itself would be an important document? It is an estimate of your total costs and fees associated with your loan. Wouldn't you think that'd be an important document that needs to be signed? You know what? There's the old good faith I still provide. You know why? Because it matches the new good faith, and it allows for a signature. Seriously, I don't think it boggles my mind that the Capitol Hill would create a document that does not require a signature, and to boot, take it a step further, is extremely difficult to read, even for someone like myself that's been in the mortgage industry that's been originating for 20 plus years. And I need a special decoder in order to tell you what's in box 1 and what's in box 2 and what's the total of all the boxes.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
But the changes they made in the past were grandstanding to a degree. So it was not making anybody's life easier,
right,
and it was not fixing the problem. And we're all pretty consistent with that. So
it's Dodd-Frank, and they're trying to Dodd-Frank us all over again. Well, the Federal Housing Administration cuts mortgage wait times after hard times.
I lost you.
Yeah, you lost me. Well, the Federal Housing Administration is making it easier for once struggling homeowners to qualify for a mortgage backed by this agency. In the past, you used to have to wait 2 years after a bankruptcy. Obviously, with reestablished credit, you need to meet the minimum credit scores, or 3 years after a short sale, deed in lieu, or foreclosure. Well, they're shortening that to 12 months. As long as you meet certain criteria, as long as you're able to provide certain documentation that will, first and foremost, that you've reestablished and that you don't have derogatories, as an example, after a bankruptcy, late after a bankruptcy or the kiss of death, because it shows continued financial mismanagement. So what this news is, and this is just out, this is roughly about a week old that this came out on August 15th, the mortgagee letter came out from HUD. So I thought it was extremely important to bring note to it and let our listeners know that there is hope on the horizon, with some caveats, with a couple asterisks that we need to do a little further research. But we also don't know how the secondary market's going to react in terms of their interpretation, because not everybody must follow HUD's guidelines and might raise the bar just slightly and say, you know what, we know that HUD says 1 year. Well, we're going to say 2 years. Maybe 1 year for BK and 2 years for foreclosure. Short sale, deed in lieu. Does that make sense?
Generally.
Okay.
I think my concern is that you hit one article that says, they want to overhaul the U.S. mortgage system because there's too much risk on the government.
This is a perfect example.
And then the next article you discuss is FHA taking on more risk. So I just find it, again, asinine is the word of the day.
We have heard it said in the past that they have said that, or basically the head of the Federal Housing Administration has stated unequivocally that FHA cannot continue to provide the lion's share of financing, viable financing for the housing market, because it's just too much for them to bear. It really is.
Yeah, but the minute we get Wall Street involved and we start getting other vehicles by which to produce mortgages by is when we start getting a lot of flowery lending going on, a lot of new products that service people who have no credit background. So, that creates its own set of problems.
That whole symbiotic relationship between
the teeter-totter,
Capitol Hill, Wall Street, and academia, right?
Absolutely.
And everybody's got everybody's back in that little triangle there. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that we share with you today on our show, we'd love to hear from you. It all starts with one call. Give us a call anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Take us with you wherever you go and listen to us on your smartphone with the iPeak Tuner app that you can download from your app store. Or listen to us online at kmjnow.com. You can also check out our resources online. You can listen to past shows from the Real Estate Network by going to YouTube or going to our website at valleywidesells.com. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 Keywords.
Friend Valleywide on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 Keywords.
KMJ, call Valleywide.
To get connected to us anytime, we'd love to hear from you. Well, coming up, what are the top five? Oh, actually, we already covered that. We have Dale Devereaux. Sorry, that was a little backstep.
Okay.
We have Dale Devereaux from Perfect Inspections here in the studio with us. And Dale's going to talk to us about the importance of a home inspection and why should you pay to have the most important or the largest purchase of your lifetime gone through with a fine-tooth comb. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valleywide help. Valleywide Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free, 800-979-3958, and put the seasoned professionals at Valleywide Homes to work for you. Valleywide Homes, NMLS number 342062, 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 01228460. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use Press 4 Keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country, the whole country, from Pete Seats right here in Fresno? If that's the case, you need to call Pete Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's Seats, and then there's Pete Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete Seat. Online at PeteSeats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, Michelle, as we mentioned, we have Dale Devereaux, the owner of Perfect Inspections, a certified home inspection company here in Fresno, in the studio with us this morning. Good morning, Dale.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for getting up so early, buddy.
Hey, no problem.
I don't think I've seen Dale outside of a house, yard,
Of a
area.
home inspection setting. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I don't think ever.
Ever? Really?
No, I think that's where we met, and I think that's every time we meet, we're at a home.
I think you're right.
It sounds to me like if you're doing it right, then that is.
That's where he should be, don't you think? Every time on my properties. I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
So, Dale, let's talk real quickly. what is a home inspection? And this might sound somewhat redundant, but some of our listeners are going to say, oh gosh, I already know what a home inspection is. But for those folks that haven't purchased a home, that are listening today, or may have purchased a home, but it was one of those situations where it was kind of just glossed over and they weren't told, one of the most important disclosures that we have in California is for your protection, get a home inspection. And there's reasons why you should. So let's first address what a home inspection is and the importance of it.
Well, thanks, Greg. That's a great question, actually. And a home inspection is an unintrusive inspection. It's a visual inspection. We go through the home and we look for anything that could be an issue with the home, or if there's things that are covered up in the home, things that you just can't see in the attic, or the electrical, the plumbing, mechanical, the air conditioning, different aspects of your home, the roof integrity. Those are things that we go through, and we, from top to bottom, we go through and we inspect and we look for and call out.
Have you ever gone out with a buyer and they've done this before, like many times before, and they will look at the roof of the home for a sag of any kind or any kind of bump, or and I love that Dale goes up in the attic and looks to see if it's a trussed house or not a trussed house, and how the framing of the house was done, because that tells us so much about the roof and so much about that.
It can be part of the crime scene, correct, Dale?
Absolutely. You get homes that are the older homes that they may have 2, 3, 4 layers of roofing material on top of them, and the original structure wasn't designed to be able to handle that kind of weight.
Right.
Plus, it doesn't dissipate the heat properly, so the integrity of the roof is shortened. The life is shortened from almost in half.
Yeah.
Due to that.
And I love that he's able to share that with the client, so that they know how to be proactive if they still want that property. The other thing I love is that he goes through and he checks every single outlet in the house. I know that seems weird, but I don't know if you've ever had those little things in your kitchen going off all the time, or your bathroom, the little, what are they called? The little surge protectors?
Yeah, ground fault, GFI protectors.
Makes you crazy when they're going off all the time in your house, and it's usually...
Last week, I actually went to, it was a client that I had sold, a young husband and wife that I had sold a property to within the last year. Actually, it was end of third quarter this past year. And they wanted to show me just what they had accomplished. And it was the absolute most amazing transformation. But it brings up it kind of echoes what you were saying there, is that they did have a home inspection. And one of the things that were brought to light is the electrical panel was not up to code. It was, and actually Jerry did the home inspection on that property for us. And it was amazing because, we ran all new electrical. There was not one plug. There was, I think he said there was one plug in the house that worked.
Wow.
Everything else did not have a ground. What a potential fire hazard. But these are the reasons why. I mean, it sounds like a little thing, but it's a huge reason why it's so important to bring a professional in. Even if you are a seasoned investor, you were telling us earlier before the show that seasoned investors will still utilize you for completing a home inspection on their property, whether they're in town or not in town, because they still want to have an understanding of, what am I getting into here?
The integrity of the property.
Absolutely. They want peace of mind. They want to know, they want to have a sale when they get ready to turn the house. They want to know that when the sale is consummated and they're completed with it, that there are no issues. They're not going to be getting phone calls afterwards with all the electrical or plumbing or any of the other issues that they didn't see, or even at the various crews. When you're working on something face up and really close, it's easy to miss something. So when we come in, one of the inspectors comes in, you see something, you can take an objective point of view, look at it, and you haven't been there before. So there's a lot of things that we find and discover, and like our flag says, what are you walking into? And that's exactly what we're here for, is to provide information and show you. So you're
providing a thorough inspection of the property so they do know what they're walking into. Secondarily, it's interesting because for years you hear some agents, and I think these are the agents that are unappreciative of really what you do, and you'll hear this comment, oh my gosh, these home inspectors are just deal killers. And it drives me up a wall, absolutely drives me up a wall, because I think if you're looking at it that way, you're looking at they're putting themselves first in the transaction, which that's not the case. A home inspector that goes out and tells you everything you want to know, or virtually everything you want to know about this property, that's going to be the single largest purchase that you make in a lifetime, and tells you, here's a couple potential problems, and this problem could be really huge. And because of that, the buyer may choose whatever path to potentially renegotiate or potentially cancel the transaction. And that's not, if you're an agent and you're truly looking out for the best interest of your buyer, it's not, home inspectors shouldn't be classified as deal killers.
I think the information a home inspector brings forth, though, is very, very important for clients to understand. It is for them to decide if it's a deal killer, the information they've been shared, or not. Are they comfortable with those repairs and those things that need to happen going forward as far as deferred maintenance or something that needs to be done on the property? And so I think those agents that fear them, shame on them, because really that's what we're there for. We're there to share that information and say, here's what needs to be done. Are you comfortable with that? Does that make you not want this property? Because they need to make that determination,
it's
not someone
consent.
else.
I always use that term. It is informed consent. It gives them the ability to be able to possess the information and help them make that decision. Because within the first 17 days, if, let's say, this is a standard California Association of Realtors contract, first 17 days, you have the right as a buyer to do all inspections. Is it well? Is it septic? Is it home inspection? Is it termite report? What roof inspection? Whatever it is.
Right.
You have the ability to make
to
those
get the answers you want.
Exactly. In order to determine just exactly that. Part of being a realtor and protecting your client is ensuring they have all that information
but
so
be
they
aware,
can determine whether they want to continue or not.
It's still a used car. I mean, a used house. Just like a used car. Are we talking about tires being changed? Or are we talking about engine being rehauled? Because those are two different things. And I think the agents need to educate themselves enough to where when a home inspection comes over, they can alleviate concerns about the tires and say this is deferred maintenance
and make sure
versus an engine being overhauled. And I think that's where maybe those agents need a little more education.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And making sure that they do put their buyers first, because that's the most important thing. You want to make sure that you're able to see this buyer. If this is what motivates you, and that's what motivates me, I know that's what motivates you as well, being able to see this buyer out on the street and know that you're going to see them face to face, eye to eye, and that they appreciate the fact that, I know that Michelle's got my back. I know that she does because she turned me on to Dale. He went out and did the home inspection, and you know what? Came out pretty good.
Tell me a little about whether or not the bank-owned properties, as far as like HUD, they have some disclosure of information, and Bank of America has some disclosure when they're selling a property. On those properties, are you finding that they are just that they have all the information, that they've actually done a thorough inspection, or is it still needed for a home inspector to go out a lot of times?
No, it's actually still needed. We're finding a lot of information that has not been discovered or has not been disclosed. And, it's kind of like going back to what you were saying about being a deal killer. We look like we actually take the position we're a deal protector. Same thing, informative. We're giving the buyer all the information, what they need, what they're getting into. Is there going to be maintenance or is there going to be, to your reference, a major engine overhaul? We're not here to kill the deal, to push the deal or anything, to provide the information so that the buyer's able to make an informed decision and go on with that. And with the HUD properties, no, there's a lot. You get into the attics. When you get into an attic, you'll be surprised. There's a lot of homeowners that are, Home Depot, Lowe's, that's great. But there's a lot of things, there's a lot of stuff. When you get into the attic or underneath the houses, that's where we find the majority of the stuff that you just don't see.
Because a lot of their inspections are visual inspections.
Absolutely. They're just from, aesthetic, from the outside. Not
by necessarily a licensed home inspector.
Right.
In most instances, there's a field service manager that's responsible for the monthly oversight of this particular property until it is out of the asset manager's inventory.
Gotcha.
And not always are those field service managers licensed contractors.
Gotcha.
They might be the handyman or some sort of tradesman, but not necessarily a licensed contractor. Dale, what do you think are some of the tips that you could share with our listeners for choosing a home inspector?
Here in California, the home inspection is not regulated, which is surprising. But
especially California.
Yeah, especially for California.
Oh, it's coming, Dale. Trust me.
It is, I know. I think the biggest thing is to see where their accreditation comes from. And what I mean by that is, are they accredited through any organization? We're accredited by the world's largest international group that all of my inspectors are part of. Continuing education, certification. We know what we're doing. We also happen to be licensed general contractors. Been doing it for 30 years. So when you're going to pick a home inspector, no matter who it is, you need to go back and look at what their expertise is. Where's their background from?
Right.
You need to find that out.
Because currently, and you brought up a really good point in terms of being regulated in California, currently there is no standing requirement as far as home inspectors are concerned. Is that correct?
That is correct. You can just hang out a shingle and say, here's my card and here's who I am, and you can go out and start doing it.
I've seen a few of those. One-pager inspections. They inspect the whole entire house, and it's all in like a half a paragraph.
A little crayon and a
that's
cocktail
not quite
napkin.
enough for my buyers.
Yeah.
It just really isn't. They want to know more. I deal with a lot of first-time home buyers, and this is their first experience, and so giving them as much information so that they can learn from the process is always, to me, important. So I love your inspections. Dale sends like 40-page inspections. I know that sounds like a lot, but it has pictures. And when you open it online, it's in color. You can print it in color if you want. And it actually is it's like the beginning. You know, in the beginning, Mr. and Mrs. Jones bought this house, and there's the beginning. And I love that because when they purchased the house, that's how it looked. And then by the time they sell the house, there's so many changes and different things that they've done to the house, and you can actually go back to the beginning where it began.
Definitely.
I love it. Sorry.
So when's the most important time in the home buying process to get a home inspection?
Immediately, if not sooner.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Wow.
Seriously, as soon as escrow is established, my staff is immediately on the phone with Dale.
So as soon as you're in contract, as soon as the
we don't wait. Dale,
dry.
when can we get you out there? Because I have that limited time of 17 days, and now I know Dale has to actually physically visit the property. He's going to walk the property. He's going to go through the entire property. It's going to take some time. Then he's going to put that report together. Well, that takes time, too.
Sure.
I only have 17 days. Not that Dale's ever come past 17 days. But I would like to know within the first 7 days where we're at with all of our inspections, because...
As quickly as possible. Sure.
Due diligence, because my client's responsible. If we're going to back out for a reason, any reason at all, for the seller, out of respect, we need to do it promptly, because they potentially have other buyers that are considering that home or would consider that home if we weren't in this transaction. So if my buyer's going to bail for those reasons, I want to know right away. So I don't wait. I immediately call Dale.
And, to piggyback on that, you could, in any market as a seller, because you're so confident of your home, you could contact Dale and have Dale complete a home inspection prior to listing the property. You can provide that report to your agent. They can attach it through multiple
Correct.
listing service. You can also request a termite report. You can also state as a seller that you were willing to pay for a home warranty, and we'll get to Sue and Fidelity Home Warranty shortly, but those are additional perks because
Right.
a seller is so confident. Now, what we've seen in today's market, or what we've seen in the market over the last couple of years, is that inventory has been relatively low, and that there's so many buyers, and all interest rates have been so great that it's a seller's market, and sellers typically dictate what the offers look like, and that there's very few offers that are
Reports
submitted.
being available.
Exactly. Very few reports that are requested of the seller. But as the market changes, and mark my words, the market is in the process of changing at the moment, that those are things that you can do to set yourself apart from other sellers, because sellers don't go that extra mile. It's our job to make sure that we help them navigate the minefield or navigate the process of. So what are the things that you can do to set your home apart that aren't going to break the bank?
Well, and it saves that buyer added expense as well. So you're going to have the opportunity to get top dollar for your home for what the current condition is. The other thing is, if you have some deferred maintenance on your property, having those inspections done now allows you to fix them before you put it on the market, before you actually put it on the market, which is going to give you top dollar. I mean, the goal is to get top dollar for your property.
Correct. And not to say that every buyer is necessarily going to feel comfortable with you providing that report, because a buyer might come in and say, we'll get our own, even though you've provided one. But I think it's a good faith gesture on behalf of the seller to just state simply, I am so confident in my property. Here's the report. And like you said,
here's the 3 items I went back and fixed.
And because of this, and here you go. And you want to get your own inspection? Great, do it.
And it's going to be more important going forward too, as you said, with the market turning the way it is. And I don't mean turning like spinning around. I'm just saying there's more properties on the market, and sellers are going to have less opportunity, and they're going to want to have as much information available about their property.
We've been talking, and most recently, what buyers can do in order to make their offers more competitive. Well, as the market's changing, we've seen a 40+%, almost a 45% increase in inventory over the last almost 8 weeks. So what does that tell you in terms of how the tide is turning and what sellers at some point are going to need to do in order to make their house
more appealing?
More appealing. Yeah.
Well, and that's another way Sue comes into the picture, because I don't know, not often right now in this market, but in the past you've seen home warranty for buyer included from seller. So sellers will buy buyer's warranty.
They'll let the buyer know up front. If you buy this property,
I'm going to put a warranty in place for you.
I'm going to give you a home warranty in place.
Right. That's right. And it's a nice perk. I mean, really, it costs you a couple $100, and that seller or that buyer can buy that property knowing that if there's any concern with the air conditioner, they've got a warranty in place. If there's any concern with the pool pump or whatever is covered in that warranty.
Sure.
And so I think that's nice.
You bring up a good point before we transition to Sue and we really get into exactly what a home warranty is. So let's talk about a couple things, Dale, in terms of cost.
It's okay.
In terms of cost of a home inspection, what is generally the cost, or larger the square footage, the higher the cost, because the bigger the property takes longer time and so forth. So let's talk about cost, what you would typically expect to see, or a buyer would expect to see. And then secondarily, also ask, so how long typically does a home inspection take?
To your point, it depends on the square footage, and typically you'll see anywhere from about $200 to $300. Very rarely does it go over the $300 mark, and again, it depends on the square footage. When you get into multiple hot water heaters, AC units, pools, spas, jacuzzis, because we're certified, we do all of that. So it just depends. Basically, or typically, it's about $250 is what you see on an average. And it usually takes us anywhere from an hour and 15 minutes to, the larger ones, it can take 2.5 hours. It just depends on how large the home is. So, but on an average, about an hour and 15 minutes.
What's your turnaround? What's your turnaround? Once you've done that inspection, about how long for an agent to expect to get the reports?
The longest is 48 hours, but almost always we have it within 24 hours the next day.
Okay.
Unless it's on a Friday and a weekend, then it carries over to Monday.
And the other nice thing is Dale always sends it to the buyer directly to their email.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm getting it and then feeding it to my buyer. He actually sends it directly to them so that they can call him if they have questions or any concerns, which I like that too.
So they're not worried about you photoshopping it. And,
no, but they're hiring him. Really, I'm facilitating it.
That's very important.
Yeah. And I always say to my buyers, if you have someone specific you'd like to use, I'm more than happy to call them. I use XYZ, any vendor that we work with. And please, let me know who you'd like me to call. And if they choose to work with Dale, which 99% of my clients do, unless they have a friend who's in the business or something, and I'm always respectful of that. But the nice part is it's their report. It's what they're doing to feel comfortable with the purchase. It's not my report.
Sure.
It's not like it's an appraisal the bank needs. It's for them, and it's only for them.
And part of what we provide in our service is, and we probably have 2 to 3 times a week as we do this, is once they buy the property, it becomes theirs and they've hired us to do the inspection, up until they sell the house, we're their inspectors. We come back if they have any questions or they can't remember on the report, it has an arrow and says this is where this particular water shutoff was. If they don't remember, one of us will stop by and provide that for them at no extra charge. It's part of the service. And so, it just gives them
peace of mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Peace of mind to protect the most important.
Don't keep going protection, because I'm going to go sue.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to get us off track again.
Hey, every crack smoker gets their day in court. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Again, thank you so much, Dale.
Thanks so much.
And you're going to stay with us in the studio as we transition to Sue real quick here. But if you do have a question with regards to a home inspection, or you'd like to pick Dale's brain and potentially set up your individual home inspection, give Dale a call, 352-6941. Again, that's 352-6941. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that Michelle and myself share with you on our show today, it all starts with one call, and that's a call from you. We would love to hear from you. Give us a call, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Take us with you wherever you go and listen to us on your smartphone with the iPeak Tuner app. You can download it at your app store or listen to us online at kmjnow.com. You can also check out our resources online and listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network by going to Valleywide Sells. You can also search for your next home. To friend us on Facebook, use press 4 keywords.
Friend Valleywide on Facebook.
Or use press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valleywide.
To call into the show anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, coming up, we're going to talk or begin that conversation with Sue Dabla from Fidelity National Home Warranty on the importance of protecting the most important purchase of a lifetime. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate. Here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valleywide Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing investment property, let the experts at Valleywide Homes help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Visit our website at reofresnohomes.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958. And put the seasoned professionals of Valleywide Homes to work for you. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country, the whole country, from Pete's Seats right here in Fresno? If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at peteseats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097. And take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, welcome to Sue Davila from Fidelity National Home Warranty. What are you looking at before? You look like
Welcome? You're welcoming her now? She was here all day.
I did. I said welcome to her earlier.
Oh, okay.
Gosh.
Good morning, Sue.
Yes, thank you.
Good morning,
Capricorn.
Michelle.
Sorry,
Good morning, Craig.
So, Sue, we've had you on the show before, but it's so timely and so important. We're talking today about the importance of a home warranty. And some listeners might say, you're going to have to work really hard to, I mean, they're saying that to me, not to you, to make a home warranty look sexy. But it's the relevance of a home warranty really is not lost because of how important this transaction is. Right? You're wanting to provide protection.
I think she's wanting to put her stilettos on now. Honestly.
Going for sexy.
Going for sexy.
I don't know if I
Sue,
can make it sexy.
You don't need stilettos, sister. You're good. You're good.
So let's talk. Let's help educate our listeners on what exactly is a home warranty.
Well, a home warranty, number one of all, it's peace of mind. So when you're purchasing, especially a used home, a resale home, what the home warranty does is it's going to protect the buyer of the property for 1 full year against any mechanical breakdowns. So the plumbing systems, the electrical systems, the big ones, the heating, the AC, the hot water heater, the kitchen appliances, we wrap our packages all into one to cover all of those items. So should they break down over the course of, the year that they own the property, or the next year, their first year of ownership, we will cover for repairs and or replacements of those mechanical systems.
And that's exactly the reason why we had both of you in the studio today. Not to toot our horns, but the importance of Dale goes and completes the home inspection and why this is so interrelated.
So clever. Aren't you clever?
She's giving me the Dr. Evil look with the pinky up to her lips.
But it's so true. I mean, Dale comes in and checks before the purchase is complete.
And says, hey, we've got a roof that appears to be was replaced 6 years ago, and it's a 30-year comp, yada, yada, yada. But there's some other things that could be some major ticket items that are of concern. They haven't failed. I can't guarantee that they're not failing, but I'm just bringing it to light that because of this, we transitioned to Sue. And Sue suggests, Sue, obviously, your job is to promote the importance of that home warranty. And give us an example of the base policy and what it covers and what the fee is, because I know that on your flyer it'll say, hey, it'll cover these basic things. And granted, there's too many things to cover, but it's basic coverage as far as the house itself is concerned. And you can add some additional coverages for
pool. We can add the standard coverages are going to cover everything within the main foundation of the home or the garage. We don't cover once you go outside. So plumbing lines, as I said, inside the house, we're going to cover the plumbing system in the house for breaks in plumbing lines, and or for stoppages in toilets, those types of general things. All the mechanical systems within the main foundation of the home or the garage. What was the second part there you were asking me?
Ads.
And then the additional coverages that we cover. Well, we do cover outside. We're going to cover swimming pool and spa equipment. We'll cover those. We do have coverage for the roof. We have coverage for, oh my gosh.
So let's talk about the mechanism real quick. So the mechanism in terms of you close escrow, a home warranty is purchased, let's just say during the course of escrow or at close.
Right.
It's not to also say that you can't come back as a buyer and purchase a home warranty after an escrow is closed by any stretch of the imagination.
We do a direct sale to a consumer, so anyone can actually purchase a home warranty for their home, any homeowner.
So the home warranty closes and you're now covered for a year's time, correct?
And it's renewable year after year.
So each and every year the premium can be paid, much like a homeowner's insurance premium.
Exactly.
But in this particular instance, homeowner's insurance would cover you, let's say, in the event of some sort of
a fire
or
break-in
or what have you.
Floods, etc. So home warranty differs in that it covers the mechanical systems. The homeowner's insurance isn't going to cover because the back burner on the stove doesn't operate, whereas we do. We'll cover, the back burner on the stove.
The hot water heater fails.
Oh, absolutely, and that's a biggie these days. The hot water fails.
I know that I had a client, same thing, purchased the home warranty, hot water heater failed, no kidding, within like a week after we closed escrow. Ouch. And it was great because the deductible for you folks is how much again?
$60 is our deductible. So the homeowner pays that service fee, and then we take care of the rest of the covered repair. It's just great peace of mind, nice cash flow protection for the buyer. It does help. There are additional outside charges on occasion. We don't cover for access. Say we've got a home that's got an upstairs bathroom and it's leaking over the stereo system and the built-in cabinetry in the house. Home warranty's not we don't take care of the access to that. So there would be possibly some expenses.
Or home insurance, your
home insurance.
Homeowner's insurance would take care of that, potentially.
Would flop over and cover into
that. So does a home warranty cover pre-existing conditions?
No, we don't. So a homeowner, what we ask is that all the appliances, heating, plumbing, everything, all the mechanical systems be in good working order.
And that's where
at the close of escrow.
Contact Dale and get a copy of the home inspection report to make sure that everything was working. If it wasn't working on the home inspection.
Especially if the homeowner calls in, we close escrow, say maybe on a Friday, and I get a call on Monday morning that the air conditioning went out over the weekend. Possibly my first question is going to be, did you have a home inspection on that property that they could show that it was in good working order?
Right. In this market, I have one question. In this market, I know that I, as an agent, am writing my offers very conservatively. So we're not asking sellers to pay for home warranties, and in some cases, the home warranty is not necessarily always addressed on that contract. What is the best avenue for a buyer to take if that was not included in their transaction?
Well, I realize in this market that we are in, a lot of the agents are not writing in that home warranty protection. It's a good idea for the agent to bring that up to the buyer, but say, we want to keep our contract as lean and mean as possible, because I know the sellers aren't paying a lot of times for them in this market. So as an agent, I would just basically tell my client, go ahead, and I've got my home warranty gal, go ahead and give her a call.
Gotcha.
She can discuss that with you. And yes, you can put a home warranty on it, like I said, at any time after the close of escrow.
And let me go into a little greater detail on that. Just because, and this is extremely important to note, because buyers, our job is to protect those buyers. Just because it's not asked for by the buyer or written into the contract, it is extremely, extremely important that the access of having any of those inspections completed is always covered with your buyer. So just because the seller is not aware of the fact that you are going to have a roof inspection completed or a termite report completed, and the buyer is going to pay for it, or you're going to have a home inspection completed, or you're going to have a home warranty, it does not mean that conversation is not had. And I have to stress that. I think that's so important for agents and for buyers to hear. Yeah, no, I didn't.
Am I getting slapped?
No. But it's important that conversation is had. So regardless of whether this is a foreclosed property, regardless of whether it is a resale home, it is so important for us to make sure that we provide our buyer with the opportunity to purchase a home inspection, because the cost is nominal and the coverage is, in my estimation, immense for one of the largest purchases that you will make of your lifetime.
Well, and I think the reason I bring it up is because I think many agents out there, if they haven't worked with Sue enough, would be unclear as to, well, because we're not putting in the contract, what do we do?
Some think that you don't do it.
You just don't do it.
all.
Oh, no.
Or,
Or they think title does it, or they think some other entity is helping them in that process.
Just because it's not in the contract doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Kind of like Sasquatch, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that we share with you on our show, it all starts with one call. Give us a call anytime. We'd love to hear from you. 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Take us with you wherever you go. Listen to us on your smartphone with the iPeak Tuner app. You can download at your app store or listen to us online at kmjnow.com. You can also check out our resources. Go to our website, search for your new home at valleywidesells.com. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 Keywords.
Friend Valleywide on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 Keywords.
KMJ, call Valleywide.
To call into us with your questions, comments. We'd love to hear from you. A big thank you to our special guest, Dale Devereaux, the owner of Perfect Inspections. If you'd like more information about your Perfect Inspection, give Dale a call today at 352-6941. Again, that's 352-6941. And also, big thank you to Miss Sue Davila. It's always great to see you. You're always I just want to give you a big hug.
Even without stilettos.
Yeah, Sue is with Fidelity National Home Warranty. If you've got questions about your home warranty or insuring your property now or while you're in escrow, give Sue a call at 970-4934. Again, that's 970-4934. Big thank you to Michelle N. Pettis for coming into the studio with me this morning, and a big thank you to Johnny B. behind the mics. Johnny, thanks so much, buddy. Our goal with the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market, so we can help bring you
back home.
Don't forget to tune into the Real Estate Radio Network next Sunday at 7 a.m. on 105.9, the FM KMJ. Local news, local talk. Make it a great day, Central California, and we will see you next week.
The preceding program was paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.